Hey everybody, today we talk about our recent trip to Jackson Hole, Wyoming and snowmobiling in Yellowstone National Park.
Hey guys, how are you? Thanks for tuning in today. You're watching That Tech Family. I'm Chelsea, this is Cody, and today we're going to be talking about our most recent trip to Jackson Hole, Wyoming. We took this trip right before Christmas, and it was really exciting for our family because I have never been in snow, and neither has my daughter. Well, I take that back. We've been to Asheville and we got a little snow there, but not like the snow you see in Jackson Hole. So today I just want to talk to you about our experience in Jackson Hole as a family from Florida and what that was like for us. We started with our flight. It was great. We went from Tampa to Salt Lake to right into Jackson, and we happened to stay at the Rustic Inn Resort and Spa. They had a shuttle for us at the airport, which was great. And if you ever get the privilege to go to Jackson Airport, it is the coolest airport. Yeah. It's small, but so rustic and so cozy.
It was
I've
nice.
never not, it was bizarre. I really enjoyed the airport. Anyway, so it was great because they, after that flight, they were there with the shuttle, and I would have to say it was probably like a 15-20 minute ride from the airport, so not bad at all. We saw deer and elk right away, which was amazing. There was snow on the ground. It was freezing, guys. I'm talking like 2 degrees, but it was absolutely beautiful. So anyway, we got to the Rustic. They checked us in right away, and then they led us to our room, which our room was, it wasn't a cabin on its own, but it was modeled to be like a cabin on its own.
Yeah.
And so in it was great. We had a fireplace, a TV, we had our own little porch, we had 2 queen beds, we had not a full kitchen in there, but a microwave and a bar area. And it was
little
just
fireplace.
Yes, it was just so comfortable and cozy, and I mean the grounds of the resort were just beautiful. You could walk everywhere. There was a bar and restaurant on site, which was amazing because the first night we were tired, so after walking around in the snow, we just went straight in there, got something to eat. And then they actually, with our leftovers, they would bring us, if we needed anything, we would call, they'd bring us plates, they'd bring us silverware. And as you guys know, our daughter has celiac disease. So for them to, cater to her gluten allergy was a really big deal. And we just really loved it. And then from there, they actually booked us an excursion to Snowmobile Yellowstone. And I've never been on a snowmobile. My daughter has never been on a snowmobile. And I mean, we've never been to Yellowstone either. And to see it in the winter, it was the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. If I encourage you guys to add it to your bucket list, because it was extraordinary.
Yeah.
And he can tell you a little bit more about that because he's snowmobiled before.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, I've been to Yellowstone when I was a kid, and we went in the summertime, and it was like a little family trip. But I mean, it was cool then, but I mean, the wintertime and snowmobiling through it was just amazing. Like, I've been on snowmobiles my whole life. I grew up on a farm, so snowmobiling was something we did for fun in the wintertime. And these, I mean, it was just amazing. Like, we were going to try to record some of it, but we had issues trying to get the GoPro mounted on the helmet, so
they have.
Yeah.
Well, first off, we booked through the Rustic, and we booked with Old Faithful Snowmobile Tours. And I have to tell you, I cannot rave enough about them for a number of reasons.
Awesome.
One was that, first of all, they give no refunds because this is a serious trip. I mean, we were gone for like 12 hours the whole day.
Yeah.
But I happened to get deathly ill the night before our trip. And my husband actually was able to call them at like 4:30 in the morning, because they pick you up around 5:30, and they were able to book us for the next day, and they moved some stuff around for us. So right off the bat, they were great with that. They offer lunch on the tour, and as you know, our daughter, that was a concern. They were able to make a gluten-free lunch for her, which is just, I mean, how awesome is that? She felt so included. Everybody, they packed sandwiches, some really good soup, some chips, waters. They pick you up at the resort about 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. They take you back to their base, and that's when you get dressed in their gear. They supply all the gear for you. I was very worried because, as I've said, we're from Florida and we're not used to this weather. And that's a long time to be out in the snow, and especially with a 6-year-old who's never been in the snow. And Yellowstone is kind of one of those things where once you're out there on this excursion, we're out there. So we had our kind of snow pants on, but they actually had full-on snowmobile suits, and we just wore both. And the woman was super nice. You walk in there, she had her 2 girls in there. They had their dogs in there. It was a family who ran it. They gave everybody breakfast, and then we got in the van, and our tour guide, Dan, you are the greatest. This is another thing. With the snowmobiles, I was on my own and he was on his own, and with our daughter, she was the rider. So I was nervous about having her ride with me because I've never ridden. And he was nervous a little bit because this is Yellowstone. There are major cliffs. This is dangerous land. So when we got there, she's 6 riding on the back of this. I was uncomfortable. So he had asked right away that she ride up front with him in the beginning for the first leg of the tour. And then after that, she could ride with us, which was great. Which, funny enough, she did so well with Dan the first part of the tour that we actually asked if she could continue with Dan.
Yeah, it was just easier that way.
It was easier, and here's the thing: when
it was scary.
It is. There are cliffs. I mean, the scenery is absolutely beautiful, but I mean the drop-offs. You're very high up. We must have traveled, I would have to say 40 to 50 miles, and we got up to almost 13,000 feet in elevation. Which coming from sea level, people,
there's signs that tell you how high you are at certain spots that you'll stop at to take pictures, and there's huge cliffs and valleys, and there's no guardrails on certain spots.
And then
so
the waterfalls.
It felt like something we should have our daughter with, somebody that does this every day. And we follow him and keep up, because I mean we're going at a pretty good speed, and I did see a sign that said Old Faithful 40 miles, so we went 40 miles there and 40 miles back. So I mean it was a long distance, but it was fun. I mean, I thought it was a blast.
It's probably been our favorite family experience, and we've done a lot of cool things.
And it wasn't
so
scary
far.
or anything. I mean, some people are gonna probably be intimidated because it's a snowmobile and you're out in the middle of nowhere, But it really wasn't that bad. They're pretty easy. They have little throttles. You just push it goes.
And they have hand warmers on the throttles.
The throttles have warmers. There's hand warmers on the
really nice
handlebars.
skis,
I mean, if you let go of the throttle, you come to a stop. I mean, they're really easy. They're fun. I mean, we brought a backpack with like some camera gear and stuff. So I mean, I had that on the back so I could take pictures, and I wish I would have got the GoPro working, but maybe
it's winter time, so we didn't see a whole lot of wildlife. We did see a bison, and we were able to see Old Faithful erupt. We went to these other springs that were amazing. We actually kind of got caught up in a snowstorm on the way back.
Yeah, it was really cool.
But that was really cool, and just the scenery alone, it is just so gorgeous. My one thing I will say though, families, they have other tours going on at this time, and they have snow coaches that are driving around. So there's other people. You need to watch what's going on. But if you have little ones, this is a long tour and it's quiet out there, and the hum of the snowmobile, it is very easy for kids to fall asleep.
Yeah.
Actually, our daughter, I didn't want her on the back because I was afraid of this. And sure enough, Dan had said up in the front on her way home, because after 7 hours of snowmobiling, I mean, her little head just kind of went down.
Yeah.
And I mean, he woke her up, but there was actually a girl on another tour that fell off the back because she fell asleep.
Yeah.
And so, and I mean, moms, dads, you know, and I mean, honestly, if you were a rider anyway, if we would have been together and he was on the back, he would have fallen asleep on the way home.
Oh, yeah,
like
no doubt.
you're exhausted, but it is just, oh my gosh, we encourage you guys to do it.
It was cool.
So much fun.
It was really cool.
Other parts of Jackson, of course, you can ski. We ended up not skiing just because I've never skied before, and I thought the Tetons would be
Not good, yeah.
not the greatest.
Not a good beginner course.
Yes, beginner course. But they also have snowmobile or snow tubing that you can do, and great ski slopes. The Rustic Inn location is fantastic because we were actually able to walk into town everywhere.
Yeah, and there's a store right next to it too.
Yes, a convenience store. I mean, what you can't get at the actual hotel or resort, there's a convenience store right down the street, and then you walk and you're literally into town. So every day we would walk to town. Food-wise, the food was phenomenal.
Yeah.
We went over our anniversary, so every trip when we take, we actually book a babysitter through usually the hotel, or I'll research it. We booked a babysitter that night and we walked to Local, which was a steakhouse right down the street. Phenomenal food. I unfortunately got the stomach flu literally the second we walked in, so we just had to box up our dinner and go right home.
It was good though.
Yeah, it was great leftovers, and although we didn't have our sitter for a very long time, she was very sweet. And you know, I know that makes a lot of people nervous, hiring outside babysitters when you travel, but we have consistently done it since our daughter was 2.
Yeah, we do it everywhere we go.
We do it everywhere we go. She has gotten very used to it, and now I only do it. We won't do it at an Airbnb or anything like that. It has to be a hotel where she's checking in somewhere. But you know, I encourage you guys to use some of these babysitting services. You don't have to use them all the time, but it's nice when you travel somewhere that you have one night where we know that we can go out as adults to a nice restaurant and go, you know, have some great food, or just, you know, have a couple hours without, you know, the kids. But anyway, Local was a phenomenal restaurant. Other phenomenal restaurants we went to, we went to the Gun Barrel.
The Gun Barrel, yeah, that was cool.
Love the Gun Barrel.
Place, it was like rustic. It had like this outdoorsman hunting feel to it. It had all these different pictures of like John Rockefeller came out there, I guess. His whole family, they hunt out there all the time. There was these old pictures of Wyatt Earp and news articles and stuffed bison and bears and everything.
It was very cool. And really good.
Old guns and stuff. I mean, it was like the place to go too. If you noticed, it was packed, and it was a big place, but it was like the place to go. It was like every cowboy in the area was there. Yeah,
and that says something. When the locals are still going to the restaurant, that's a big deal. Other restaurants that you would just kind of walk in and get a small bite to eat, we went to Liberty Burger. We actually didn't have the burgers from there, but they have these great milkshakes. Our daughter had a milkshake and some fries because they have gluten-free fryers there, like they don't cross-contaminate, which was awesome. And they also have these really good adult milkshakes that we split.
They were good.
There's also Hand Fire Pizza, which I believe the guy said was based out of Hawaii.
Yeah.
And they just brought it there, and it's out of the old movie theater in Jackson. And I mean, the pizza was phenomenal. Again, gluten-free pizza. Very conscious of the allergies.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as food goes, this was a great trip for Collins because everybody was just very hyper aware.
Yeah.
And I mean, we even went to a restaurant, a Mexican restaurant, because I asked if the chips were fried in the same oil, and they were like, "Oh no, we don't encourage you to eat here. We would like you to, but if it's not safe for her, you know." And I think that says a lot. And so we walked right next door. He took her, I was down for the count after I got the flu one day.
Yeah, so when she was out, we went outside and we played in the snow, and we were having the snowball fight, and the deer would just come right up to you. This whole family of deer just came right up, just looked at us. I mean, we have some pictures of it and some video of us actually playing with the deer right next to us. It was really cool. But we walked into town and we walked around. They have like a little park area. We went and traveled around. There's like this hot chocolate place we found. I don't remember the name, but it was like chocolate everything. It had all kinds of different chocolates, and it was really cool.
Well, our daughter had never seen taxidermied animals before.
Oh yeah.
So and to be honest with you, I have a major respect for people who live out there, because now that I've been face to face with a stuffed grizzly and seen bison, I mean, these are massive.
Yeah, there's a lot of
animals.
Stuffed.
There are dead stuffed animals.
It's a
everywhere.
hunter's place. Like, this is where you go if you're a big hunter.
Yes.
Like, everybody there hunts and traps. And it's everywhere.
But
so
with that comes so much respect. I mean, I have to say, Dan, who was our tour guide for the Old Faithful snowmobile, he was also an outfitter. And I mean, for somebody who hunts for a living, I mean, he really has a respect for animals, and you know, and everybody there had more of the feel of, you don't kill it to kill it, you kill because you eat it, and then you respect the land around you, which I think is cool. I mean, it's very, I don't know, it's just a really cool town. And then last but not least is Teton Toys. Parents.
Oh my gosh.
Oh boy. Okay, so there's a store called Teton Toys, and you go in through one store and then you go downstairs, and it's just like corridor after corridor of unique, cool toys. And I mean, I think we went there every day.
Oh yeah, that was
day.
Collins' favorite place to go. That's all she cared about, was playing in the snow and then going to Teton Toys.
Yes, but at the same time, you know what? When you're out in the snow a couple hours and you're on vacation, then you go and eat. There is nothing better than coming back to your room and having your kids perfectly content playing with their toy while you're just like doing nothing and relaxing. And that is exactly what Jackson Hole was. It was this great cabin relaxing trip that was absolutely beautiful.
It was fun.
So we will share some pictures. We will share links to all the restaurants and to the Rustic, as well as Old Faithful snowmobile tours. I will say, if you're going to plan on going, make sure that you get the right gear. I can leave some links in the descriptor of gear that we got. I bought a North Face jacket, and I will leave the link to the correct North Face jacket that I should have got, because when I tell you people it's cold, I mean it is cold. So we just thank you guys so much. Please make sure you like this video, subscribe to our channel. We look forward to hearing any comments or feedback, and we hope you have a great day today. Bye.
Thanks. Bye.